And a welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We appreciate you being here with us, hanging out every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Can't thank you enough for your support. And of course, we are here on a Wednesday, which means it is fantasy football time. And inside of the Fantasy Football Power Hour, proudly presented by the Wildcat Sports Pub, we are here for NFL Week 9 of the 2025-26 season. If you have a question, make sure to send it in to us here on Wake Up Call. We're inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, and the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great Lakes Honda City is open for sales and service Monday through Saturday, so make sure you make your way out to Great Lakes Honda City. Let them know that DT sent you their way. And, of course, they have new and used vehicles you could buy and lease and get a sneak peek by going to GreatLakesHondaCity.com. So, for you today, and as we're up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe, on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, and on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com. I welcome all the questions. Appreciate the ones that we've gotten over the weeks and the years when it comes to fantasy football. If your team needs help, you're trying to figure out what to do with your free agency, what to do with your waiver wire, and so on and so forth, we are always here to help you when it comes to fantasy football. I appreciate everyone that tunes into this broadcast on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life, where we can talk with you about your team, who you should put on your bench, who you should take off your bench and put into your starting lineup, and so much more. So when it comes to fantasy football, we appreciate the fact that you come here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for the Fantasy Football Power Hour, proudly presented by the Wildcat Sports Pub. And the Wildcat Sports Pub is the perfect place to watch all of the games, as well as so much more. Open 7 days a week on 3680 Milton Avenue in Camillus, New York. Make sure you make your way out there. Let them know that DT sent you their way. And you can also go there for takeout and delivery. So if you're going to somebody else's house, you're going to be staying at home, you can still get your food from the wonderful Wildcat Sports Pub by calling 315-487-2222. That's 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat. So make sure you get in touch with them today. Like I said, it's NFL Week 9 of this 2025-26 season, and I'm very excited to hop into this with you. As you know, for those of you that are returning to watch, we go with Thursday Night Football all the way to Monday Night Football, so we go in order of the week. And if you're looking at the screen right now, we start on the upper left, we go to the right, and so it goes left, right, down, left, right, down, left, right, down, and you'll see what game we're on by what we have circled at the time. So if you're ever trying to figure things out, you'll be able to see it here on the screen by what is circled. You'll know what we've already covered and what we have yet to cover. So I do want to make a note that the Browns, the Jets that finally won a game, so there's no winless teams in the NFL anymore, as well as the Eagles and the Bucks will all be off this week. Browns, Jets, Eagles, Bucks. So make a note for yourself so that you don't put anyone from any of those teams out there, because you don't want to have a wasted spot in your fantasy football team for this week, as we are in Week 9. We're getting closer and closer to fantasy playoffs, folks, so I hope that you're locked in. I hope you're ready to get this thing done. And like I said, if you have a question, send it to our feed, to this video itself, so that I can actually see it. And that's youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Reply to this video. Facebook.com/wakeupcalldt. Reply to the video there. Or you can reply at wakeupcalldt.podbean.com, as we are inside of that feed. So if you have a question, send it over. Happy to answer your questions every single week. Means a lot to me that you send them from all over the country and sometimes potentially all over the world. So thank you for that. And so, like I said, we're going to get into Thursday Night Football first. and we will be working with that matchup between the Ravens and the Dolphins. You know, you would think that at this point I'd be telling you, well, the Ravens are in good footing and the Dolphins are not, right? Because you didn't really, I mean, coming off of the Dolphins. Now, I will say this. The Ravens are a perennial playoff team with Lamar Jackson, right? And before Lamar Jackson, they know what it's like to win a Super Bowl. So we've seen them have plenty of success with Lamar and without Lamar. But, or I should say with Lamar and before Lamar. But since Lamar has come onto the team, when he is not with the team on the field, this team is a shell of themselves. Tua, it's been the same thing. When Tua's not on the field with Miami, Tua Tagovailoa, when he's not out there, the team doesn't look the same. However, this year, with him out there, the team has looked like they've looked in years when he's been injured. So this is a very weird scenario, and seeing the fact that Miami looks like a Miami team without Tua, and Baltimore without Lamar, man, they've just been not that great. They are 1-0 in their division, which is great for them, that they've only played one game in their division. So that's good in the AFC North. They're 2-5 overall. The Dolphins are 2-6. We'll start with the road team. Now, Lamar Jackson is supposed to return for this game, and if that happens, I would consider putting Lamar out there. I would temper my expectations a little bit, maybe call him a mid-range quarterback one, just because of the fact that he's coming back from injury. But if they gave him some extra time, like let's say he was maybe ready to go last week and they just wanted to give him a little bit more time to be prepared, if he is definitely in great shape to come back as opposed to some guys who rush back, then I feel even better about it. But I do like Lamar Jackson in the game. I like Derrick Henry. I shouldn't have to tell you that, but I will, because Derrick Henry has been one of the guys that you lean on when it comes to Baltimore, and I would think at times this season the only guy that you could lean on in Baltimore with Lamar being out. So I do like Lamar, Derrick, Zay Flowers. I'll give Zay Flowers some love in this matchup. I'm going to call him a wide receiver 2. And the tight ends, it's difficult. I want to tell you Mark Andrews this week, but I'm going to call him a tight end 1. But him and Likely, the reality is, and pun fully intended, how likely is either one of them going to be used? So, because they share time together, it's great for the Ravens to have 2 tight end 1s, because I believe that Isaiah Likely has worked to the point where I can call him that, and I definitely think that I can say that about Mark Andrews, obviously. So when you have 2 tight end 1s on your team, it's great for your team. But what's not great is in fantasy, because how often can you lean on either one of these guys? Now, Mark Andrews had 3 catches on 3 targets for 34 yards. Likely had 2 catches on 2 targets. So they caught whatever was thrown to them from Tyler Huntley. But again, they're sharing that time together. By the way, the Baltimore Ravens at home beat the Chicago Bears. Chicago's been looking good in Caleb Williams' second year. Baltimore was looking horrible. And with Tyler Huntley as quarterback at home in Baltimore, Maryland, they not only beat the Bears, which was kind of an unsuspecting win, but they won by 2 touchdowns. So shout out to Tyler Huntley and give the man his flowers. Here's the irony. When Lamar Jackson wasn't available for the playoffs a few years back, Tyler Huntley came in and almost beat the Dolphins. Hopefully they don't need Tyler Huntley in this one, because hopefully Lamar Jackson is good. So hopefully he's good to go. But just so you know, that backup quarterback for the Ravens almost won a playoff game and beat Chicago by 2 touchdowns. So shout out to him. I like Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry as 1s. I like Zay Flowers as a wide receiver 2. On Miami's side, I like Devon Achane. And beyond that, I'm not sold on any of the tight ends. So Julian Hill's got an ankle injury, didn't participate on Tuesday. He's questionable right now, so God willing, he'll be okay. Greg Dulcich, as well as Tanner Connor, could be out there. I know Malik Washington has been on the radar, but if you look at what they've done most recently, and if you have a question, make sure you send it in. Miami most recently beat the Falcons on the road 34-10. Again, the Falcons make no sense. The Falcons beat the Buffalo Bills but can't beat the Dolphins. It's confusing. Now, Tua had 4 touchdowns in that game, no interceptions, looked more like himself finally, thank goodness. Best game he's had all year. 20 of 26, 205. Devon Achane had a quieter day, but I still like him. Ollie Gordon was used more, the rookie. 10 carries, and Achane had 18 carries, pardon me. Jalen Waddle, 6 targets, 5 catches, 99 yards and a touchdown. Malik Washington had a touchdown. Devon Achane out of the backfield had a touchdown. Ollie Gordon, the second out of the backfield, had a touchdown. You get a touchdown, and you get a touchdown, and you get a touchdown, said Tua. So I would say in this matchup, I'm going to call Malik Washington a sneaky flex to put him out as a wide receiver 3 or 4 in a flex position in this matchup. I do like Achane, though, like I said, and I would put Jalen Waddle out there. Ollie Gordon, I'm monitoring him. In a deep league, you might want to put him out there as a handcuff, or, you know, if like I said, if you're in like an 18-team league, then maybe you put out an Ollie Gordon. But he's a guy that I grabbed and stashed earlier on in the season, and I think that that's going to pay off. Let's go to Sunday. Chi-Town at Cincinnati. We got Chicago at Cincinnati. The Bears versus the Bengals. We'll start with the Bears because they are the road team. Like I said, the Bears are coming off of a head-scratching game where they not only lost to a Lamar-less Baltimore, but they lost by multiple scores, as I made mention of. So Chicago, I like Caleb Williams. I said I think he would have the opposite of a sophomore slump, and I think that he has shown some good moments here to state that case that I predicted early on in the season. They had a 4-game winning streak against the Cowboys, at the Raiders, at the Commanders, and against the Saints. Now, within that, you're playing a Cowboys team that's been an enigma. You're playing a Raiders team that's not good. You're playing a Commanders team that hasn't been at full go. And you're playing a Saints team that's not that good. So they lost to the Vikings, the Lions, and the Ravens. I think the Ravens are typically, obviously, a good team with Lamar healthy. The Lions are obviously a good team. And the Lions put 52 on Chicago in that game. Chicago lost 52-21. And then the Vikings, you know, first game of the season when J.J. McCarthy was out there. So they lost to 3 good teams, and they beat 4 not great teams. So what does that say about Chicago right now? They really haven't shown us anything. I think Caleb Williams has performed well. I think that, you know, obviously he's done some good things, like I said, but I still think that Chicago has to beat someone who's a playoff caliber team for me to really look at this and say, okay, Chicago's on the up and up. Now, I like DeAndre Swift. He did score against the Ravens. I like Roma Doomsday. He had over 100 yards. Colston Loveland, 5 targets, 3 catches, 38 yards. He's another guy to look at, their rookie tight end. So, you know, and DJ Moore in a deep league, he's like a wide receiver 3 to me still. Colston Loveland coming out of Michigan. So let's look at this. I like DeAndre Swift. I like Roma Dunze. I like DJ Moore in this game, and I like Colston Loveland. I'm going to call him a mid-range tight end 1. As far as Cincinnati, this absolutely stinks. Joe Flacco's on the injury report, questionable with a shoulder injury. So you already got Joe Burrow out. You brought in Joe Flacco. He had an awesome game against the Steelers, and now Joe Flacco, after that, lost to the Jets, with the Jets getting their first win this season to keep themselves from being 0-8. So Jake Browning might be your guy, and I don't think that is the best. Now, Jake Browning did some good things last year, but obviously there's been some struggle. He found a way to beat the Jaguars, and the Jaguars have been all over the place. But Joe Flacco, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 21 of 34, 223, and 3 rushing touchdowns, Samaje, everyone who carried the ball, Samaje Perine, Chase Brown, and Joe Flacco, all had a touchdown. That's unique, right? How many teams, everyone who has at least one carry has a touchdown in the same game? That's pretty cool. Jamar Chase had 91 yards in the game, 19 targets, 12 catches. Flacco loves throwing to Jamar Chase, which is great to see for fantasy that Burrow being out didn't affect Jamar Chase. It kind of gave him more of an uptick in some kind of crazy way. So I would say yes on Chase Brown, yes on Jamar Chase. T. Higgins, I'm going to say he had one catch and 2 targets, but it wasn't for a touchdown. So T. Higgins, I'm going to call him a low-end wide receiver 2 this week. Going on to our next game here, and moving forward, if you have a question, send it in. Minnesota at Detroit. Minnesota just went and got somebody that I covered in college, John Wolford, who started his career as a Los Angeles Ram. In college, he was a Wake Forest Demon Deacon at quarterback. The Minnesota Vikings have decided to bring him in. What does that say about the future of J.J. McCarthy this season? Hopefully J.J. will be okay. But J.J. is back on that injury report with that ankle injury. Max Brosmer is also here, and then Carson Wentz is on injured reserve, who was filling in. So John Wolford could end up being the guy that they go to in this matchup. And with John Wolford signing with the Vikings, I mean, like I said, he could be out there. Well, he signed to the practice squad. So let's see what they end up doing with this, but hopefully JJ can play. I mean, it's the Lions defense. I don't know if I want to put him out there, especially if he's not full go. Whoever's been the quarterback, Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison and TJ Hawkinson are still relevant. I'm not sold on Jordan Mason. Aaron Jones being back is a good thing. We'll take a look at the Vikings in their most recent matchup, which had them at the Chargers losing 37-10, with the Chargers going to their old uniforms. And Brosmer was 3 of 4. Wentz 15 of 27, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Xavier Scott 2 carries, 16 yards. Aaron Jones 5 carries, 15 yards. Jordan Mason 4 carries, 3 yards for 0.8 yards a carry. Awful. But Jordan Addison scored, and Justin Jefferson had 74 yards, 7 catches, 11 targets for Jefferson. And TJ Hawkinson 2 catches on 3 targets. Jordan 3 on 4 targets. So, I mean, that's how it's been, right? It's been Jefferson, Addison, Hawkinson, but they're all still relevant. So I like Jefferson, Addison, Hawkinson. I don't know if I've sold on anybody in the backfield. Maybe a little Aaron Jones love, but they're playing Detroit. This game against Minnesota, and when you look at Minnesota, though, as far as how the team has done despite losing, Minnesota allowed 24 points, 22 points, 10 points, 24 points, 17 points, 28, and 37. So most recently to the Chargers allowed 30 or more. But in most of their games, they were allowing 24 points or less. At the Bears, 24. Falcons, 22. Bengals, 10. Steelers, they allowed 24. Browns, they allowed 17. And then the Eagles was a little bit above that with 28. They played most of their games at home, which is crazy. When you look at the Minnesota Vikings, their first game was on the road, their last game was on the road, and they played within that 5 games at home. So, or 5 games at home. Falcons, Bengals, Steelers, Browns, and Eagles. So, played those games at home. So, most of their time has been a home stint. But, yeah, I mean, their defense has shown up at times, but you're playing Detroit. I like Jahmyr Gibbs. I like David Montgomery. I like Amon-Ra St. Brown. Jamison Williams, but I'll probably put him as a 3. Low end 2, high end 3. I like Sam Lapueta. I don't know if I would trust Jared Goff to do it, but I give Jared some love, but I probably wouldn't put him out as my quarterback this week if I don't have to. Next game that we have, Carolina Panthers at the Green Bay Packers. 2 beautiful enigmas. 2 teams that have not made a lot of sense. Carolina's better than people thought they were going to be, me included. They're 4-4. They're at 500, 8 games into the season. Green Bay is 5-1-1. That tie in Dallas where they ended the game 40-40 because nobody could figure out who wanted to win that game. Let's go to Carolina first, and I want to look at Carolina recently and how they've performed. So the Carolina Panthers had won 3 in a row and 4 of 5 when they defeated the Falcons, lost at the Patriots, and then defeated the Dolphins, the Cowboys, with Rico Dowdle going up against his old team and won bonkers in that game in a good way, and they won at the Jets. But they just lost to the Bills 40-9. That game was at home in Carolina. So Carolina, with them on my mind, how do I feel about Carolina in this moment? Well, Rico Dowdle, he stepped it up. He's done some things. I'm okay with you putting Rico Dowdle there. In a deep league, you could put him as a 2. Hopefully, you could put Rico Dowdle as a 3. Chuba Hubbard's still getting involved. He had a touchdown in this last game, the only touchdown the Carolina Panthers had. So I would say for Chuba, I'm going to put him behind Rico, so I'll call him a 3 this week. Then Teteroa McMillan's had a great rookie season, 99 yards, 10 targets, 7 catches, even in the loss 40-9 at home to the Bills. So I do like Teteroa, and that's probably going to be where I'm at. Andy Dalton, 16-24, 175, no touchdowns, 1 interception. Bryce Young is questionable with his ankle injury, so God willing he's able to return. If not, we'll see Andy Dalton again. On the other side of it, the Green Bay Packers. The Packers, like I told you, they haven't just been an enigma this season. They've probably been one of the biggest enigmas of the NFL of the last 2, 3, 4 seasons. Definitely the last 3 if you include this one. The Packers beat the Steelers, and they prevented Aaron Rodgers from having the 32 franchise wins. And what I mean by that is he's defeated 31 NFL franchises of the 32. If he beat his old team, the Packers, where he started his career, Aaron Rodgers would have a win versus every single one of the 32 NFL franchises, but Jordan Love would not let it happen. 35-25, winning on the road in Pittsburgh. Love, 29-37, 3 touchdowns, 360 yards, enough yards for a full spin around, and no interceptions. Emmanuel Wilson, 11 carries, 61 yards. He was utilized a lot, 5.5 yards a carry. Josh Jacobs, 13 for 33, but did have a touchdown. And Tucker Kraft had 2 touchdowns, 9 targets, 7 catches, and 143 yards for the tight end. I believe I told you to play him. And then we'll take a look at Christian Watson, 4 targets, 4 catches, 85 yards. People have lost hope in him over the years, but that was a nice outing for him. And then 6 targets, 3 catches for Romeo Doubs, and 44 yards. So, for Green Bay playing up against Carolina, I would consider Jordan Love for this game because it's Carolina, but I'm going to call him a mid to low-end quarterback 1. I like Josh Jacobs. Emmanuel Wilson if you want a handcuff, but Emmanuel Wilson, as far as what's his output going to be week to week, I mean, we know Josh Jacobs is the guy. Emmanuel Wilson in his game log started the season 1 carry for 4 yards, then no carries, then 6 for 25, then 8 for 44, 3 for 11, 6 for 17, and 11 for 61. So his 2 best games were at Dallas, 8 carries for 44 yards. Then he had 3 catches on 3 targets for 37, and then most recently 11 carries for 61 yards at Pittsburgh, and then 3 catches on 4 targets for 26 yards. So that's been his best. He did fumble in the most recent game. I don't know if I'm telling you to put Emmanuel Wilson out there unless it is a handcuff in a deep league. I like Jordan Love as a mid to low-end quarterback 1. I like Josh Jacobs. I like Tucker Kraft. And I guess I would say Romeo Doubs, but I'm hoping you can put him as a 3. Like if you could play 4 wide receivers, that he's your 3rd option. I'm hoping he's not one of your top options to put out there because there's no Green Bay wide receiver that I like more than I like their tight end, Tucker Kraft. We're going to take a step aside for a fast break inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios and inside of the Fantasy Football Power Hour presented by the Wildcat Sports Pub. Stay with us. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you. Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
All right, you need to come out here and get yourself the Brooklyn Pickle. I was talking about this with one of my buddies. I was like, yo, there's no better sandwich in the state of New York than the Brooklyn Pickle. And now that I found out that they're going down to North Carolina, we are taking over your taste buds everywhere you are, wherever you're going to be. You need to get yourself out to the Brooklyn Pickle. Pinehurst, you just realized that you found yourself the best sandwich shop that you're ever going to have. This is a glorious moment. It's a blessing to your community. You're welcome. Brooklyn in the house, baby. Go over to the Brooklyn Pickle. You already know what it is.
You heard the man. Head to Brooklyn Pickle Pinehurst on 1788 Old Morgantown Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina. Here's a message from Renee from Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York. Open Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and Sundays for brunch.
It's a lot like the way that my mom and dad ran their restaurant. We have put in place a lot of people that are family to us, very similar to how my dad hired people that were family to him. And then the tradition I'm carrying on is a lot of the items that are on our menu are my dad's. And he taught our chefs how to recreate his dishes. So I think that Tommy McNerney, who our executive chef is, to him it is an art. And I think that when he does create a dish, it's not just about making the food taste delicious, which is definitely our priority, but it's an art to him, and it's almost like his canvas on a plate where he just wants the colors to look great, and people love it because he takes pride in that. And Brian and I appreciate that. We want it to obviously look good and taste good. I will tell you, when we opened up, it was 6 weeks before COVID. And what was amazing was the community, our friends and family stepped up, and everybody did takeout. Everybody supported us. Our hearts were just so filled. So to Brian and I, obviously our friends come all the time, and we just have repeat customers in Jamesville, and I think people going to our previous restaurant in Green Lakes are making the trip to come to Bryan's Landing to support us. And I mean, I think we have great food and a great atmosphere. So it's very, very important to us.
Head to Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York, where memories have become recipes that are now meals to share with you. Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and on Sundays for brunch. And be sure to come out for live music Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Life gets busy, and sometimes that means us running around. So Canine Camp Dog Daycare offers you an opportunity to give your dog a place to stay while you take care of what you need to throughout the day. Canine Camp Dog Daycare is located on 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse, New York. You can see it from the highway, and it's just off of Erie Boulevard across from BJ's Wholesale Club.
Call 315-437-7110. That's 315-437-7110 to schedule an appointment to bring your dog in and tour the facility. Appointments are Monday through Thursday after 6:30, where you and your dog can see everything that Canine Camp Dog Daycare has to offer, including a self-serve dog wash and a retail store filled with all of your dog's wants and needs, including food, treats, harnesses, leashes, and more, making Canine Camp Dog Daycare your one-stop shop for your furry-loving friend. Right, Lily? And now a message from Myers Creek Brewing Company, with locations at their Cazenovia Farm Brewery, Syracuse Inner Harbor Tap Room, and soon-to-be Lake Placid Tap Room.
Well, I think first and foremost, the Feldmeyer family and our team are extremely passionate about what we do. We care very much about what we do. The Feldmeyer family is always investing. Our taproom management team, our brew management team, our marketing management team, and all of the team members that get after it every day, they leave it on the field. They put their heart and soul into it. I know for a fact that everyone that works at Myers Creek wants to be there, and we want them to be there. You know, we want them to feel good about their job. And again, if you've never been to a Myers Creek, especially to the brewery, I mean, I want your eyes to open really big. I want you to see how big of a brand this is. I want you to see where we're going. The sky is the limit, and I feel very proud of that, and I'm very excited about that. When you think of designing a menu for a brewery, it's kind of open to a lot of different interpretations. I mean, you can do American, you can do Asian, you can do Italian, and you just have to find, you know, how that meets that pub style dining experience, that gastropub vibe. And I think it's super fun for us because obviously we know that, you know, everyone in the world's going to sell a pizza or a burger or a french fry, but what can we do to be different? And what can we do to be true to who we are? We are a brewery, you know, a brew pub. So the flavor profiles are kind of all over the place. And I think it's super cool that we have a massive smoker at the brewery in Cazenovia, and we smoke a lot of our products. A delicious smoked turkey. We have barbecue ribs on Sundays. From a pulled pork sandwich to a chicken wing, you go to the Inner Harbor and you go to the Kaz location and you'll find similarities in the menu, but also things that are a little different and also kind of fit those different demographics or different communities, and also hopefully just drive you to try every tap room that we have open at some point because you get a little something different at each one. You know, we understand how hard it is to, you know, work every day and get after it every day, and when you're done at the end of your day, you want to go out and put your feet up in a good ambiance and good environment. So we take pride in that. We make sure that everyone knows that they're very much valued to us.
And welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, and of course inside of the Fantasy Football Power Hour, not one of, not a, but the Fantasy Football Power Hour, proudly presented by the Wildcat Sports Pub. Make your way over to the Wildcat every single day of the week, including for game day, and we look forward to seeing you out there at the Wildcat Sports Pub, 3680 Milton Avenue in Camillus, New York. Next game we have up, Denver Broncos at the Houston Texans. Denver's been playing really well. Houston, well, they have not looked that great. So the Denver Broncos, I've said it before and I'll say it again, Bo Nix, this defense, I'm a big fan of the Denver Broncos. And as far as the Houston Texans go, they have had a lot of problems. And so, I mean, it's just being consistent, scoring the ball. They haven't looked great. But they are 3-4, and they have won 3 of their last 4. So that's kind of fitting. They beat the Titans, who are terrible. They beat the Ravens on the road without Lamar Jackson there. They lost to the Seahawks on the road. But they just beat the Niners, which is a big-time win for Houston, which you didn't really anticipate was going to happen. I didn't. 26-15, beating the Niners at home in Houston. In an arena I've been in, so definitely appreciate their arena. Now, C.J. Stroud, 30 of 39, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception in the game. Woody Marks, 11 carries, 62 yards. Nick Chubb, 17 carries, 56 yards, so they both got involved. Xavier Hutchinson, 6 targets, 5 catches, 69 yards, and a touchdown. Jaden Higgins had the other touchdown, so the young guns that are out here. Xavier Hutchinson was drafted in 2023, and Jaden Higgins was drafted this year, 2025, round 2, pick 34 overall. So, some hope in Jaden Higgins they have out of Iowa State for the Cyclones. Looking to shake things up here. Xavier Hutchinson was round 6, pick 205 by Houston out of Iowa State as well. So the 2 Iowa State Cyclones caught the only 2 touchdowns thrown by C.J. Stroud in that win over the Niners. That's kind of a cool, fun fact. So let's go first to the road team. Bo Nix, I like, but I'm going to call him a mid-range quarterback. See, the thing with Bo Nix is Denver finds a way to win, but is Bo Nix getting you like those mega points? Not necessarily. So I like him in reality. In fantasy, it's, kind of give or take here, right? I mean, there's 13-11 games and there's 21-17 games, but in the last 2, 33-32 over the Giants, 44-24 over the Cowboys. But that was a lot of R.J. Harvey doing his thing, and Bo Nix had 4 touchdowns. R.J. Harvey had 2 touchdowns in the game. So, I mean, they're playing Houston. It's on the road. Houston's been all over the place. But let me say Bo Nix, he's a QB1. But I'm going to call him a mid to high range QB1. Like, he's got some upside. R.J. Harvey, I told you, could end up being the dominant back. And he scored 3 times in the win over the Cowboys. 2 rushing, 1 receiving. And I played him. So thank you, R.J. Harvey of UCF, for doing your thing. So I like R.J. Harvey. I'm going to call him a 2. I'm going to call Dobbins a 3. I like Cortland Sutton. And I told you this before. When you draft Bo Nix and you draft his teammate Troy Franklin, why would he not go to him? Every quarterback has their guy, and they linked up at Oregon. So why wouldn't they link up in the NFL? So as long as they both do their job and find ways to, Bo has the vision and Troy gets open, he's going to find him, and he's been doing that. So I like Troy Franklin. And I don't think he's probably available, but if somebody put him on the waiver wire, then you better snatch him up. Marvin Mims II has a concussion. God willing, he'll be okay, and he'll be out there very, very soon because he's stepped it up as well, which is great for those that own a bunch of his cards because he did sign a bunch of cards. So if you're in the card market, Marvin Mims, hold on to those cards because you might be able to sell some. Or if you could sell them right now, do it. Troy Franklin, I like him in the game. I like Cortland Sutton a little bit more, though. Houston, Nick Chubb and Woody Marks, either one of these guys should be your backup. In a deep league, they're your 2, and hopefully they could be your 3 out there in other leagues. Nico Collins is on the injury report with a concussion. God willing, he'll be okay. Christian Kirk, hamstring. God willing, he'll be okay. I talked to him a bunch of times in his career. I love talking to him, which means that Jaden Higgins is probably the dominant guy once again, and Xavier Hutchinson. So Hutchinson should be your wide receiver 4. Jaden Higgins, I mean, he's playing Denver's defense, so I'm going to call him a flex position guy. And you should consider Denver's defense, but also consider the fact that Houston has been at least playing better recently here. And I think they are going to get into the end zone, maybe once or twice. So you never know with Houston. They could be all over the place. I mean, beating San Francisco by almost doubling their score, it's not something a lot of people had on their bingo board. So just watch out for Houston, but Denver's defense hard to pass up in any stretch of the imagination because arguably they're the best in the country, right, when it comes to being able to lean on them. We know the Lions have had up and down moments, but, people typically trust their defense. Perennially, people trust Baltimore for over a decade now, probably 2 decades. But I do like Denver's defense, and I like leaning on them. I just think Houston's offense has woken up a little bit, so I'm looking to Denver's defense as not a bad play, but also, will Houston be able to get a few scores in there? And they might get a 2-3 scores, maybe. I would lean more on 2 if I had to choose, but I think Denver will win the game. I think Houston will make it interesting. Atlanta and New England. Atlanta's been awful. Speaking of defenses, I think you should play New England's defense against Atlanta in this game because Atlanta's been seriously just every which way. You don't know what the heck team is going to show up week in and week out. There's been little to no consistency for the Atlanta Falcons. And that's been awful for fantasy owners because I told you I thought Michael Penix Jr. being the quarterback was going to open up this offense, finally get Kyle Pitts the ball, which he's done, and get the ball to Drake London. And we would see Beige and Tyler Algier sharing time. And we've seen all that. But Atlanta has also not scored a lot of points. And Kirk Cousins is now the quarterback. He came in, and he was quarterbacking this team against Miami, which probably makes you want to run right back to Michael Penix when they lost the game by 24. Penix is questionable with a knee injury, so God willing, he'll be able to come back. I like Bijan Robinson no matter who the quarterback is. Tyler Algier is a running back 4 at best for me right now. Drake London is questionable with a hip injury, so just monitor that and see how he's doing. They are playing New England, though, so I don't feel great about Drake London in this game. Darnell Mooney, if London's good to go, I'm going to put him as a low end 2, high end 3, and I'm going to put Mooney as a 3 or a 4 because they're playing New England and it's on the road. I like Kyle Pitts. If I have to pick anybody in the receiving core, I'll pick the tight end. And then New England, I like Drake May in this game because who's Atlanta stopping? Ramondre Stevenson, I don't mind you putting him out there. And then Kayshon Boots has done a great... Kayshon Booty, he's been making it happen. And Booty has definitely been helping you out if you took a flyer on him because we're looking at, well, who's left? And New England's got to throw to somebody, right? Well, they just won 32-13 over the Browns, who are terrible. And the Browns are now 2-6, and New England's the opposite. They're 6-2. Travion Henderson, 10 carries, 75 yards, 7.5 yards a carry, but it was Cleveland. And then, because I do think Travion's a good pickup here, it's just he's not really consistent in his rookie season out of Ohio State after winning a national championship. By the way, I have his card with his autograph on it if anyone is interested. Kayshon Booty, 5 targets, 3 catches, 75 yards, and a touchdown. Diggsy had a touchdown, 5 targets, 3 catches, only 14 yards in the game. And Matt Collins, who I told you to look out for, 7 targets, 7 catches, and 89 yards for the former Buffalo Bill. So playing up against Atlanta, I like Kayshon Booty, I like Stephon Diggs, and I like Matt Collins. None of them is your number 1, but I do like them. And then Ramondre Stevenson, I like. Travion Henderson, if you want to flex him out. They're playing Atlanta, and like I said, who's Atlanta stopping? And I'm okay with Drake May going out in this one, as I stated that I thought that this season for him may be a good second year, especially with him having the head coach that I thought should have been the head coach the last 2 years. I predicted last year they should do it. They did it this year with Mike Vrabel. It's no offense to Gerard Mayo. I just thought Mike Vrabel was a good fit when Tennessee was stupid enough to let him go. San Francisco at the New York Giants in MetLife Stadium. It's New York, New York, but will it be New York for a San Francisco team that's probably not happy that they lost to Houston most recently on the road here? So New York may have a problem with San Francisco coming into town. For San Fran, Brock Purdy's on the injury report, Curtis Rourke, and Mac Jones. So that might mean Adrian Martinez. We'll see. Brock Purdy's got a toe injury. He's questionable. Mac Jones has a knee injury. He's questionable. Curtis Rourke is on injured reserve, but is supposed to be coming back this week. So Adrian Martinez of the San Francisco 49ers. Could we see him? He's had 1 year of experience out of Kansas State, and Adrian Martinez could be the guy in this. I like Christian McCaffrey no matter what, and this could be a good game for the Giants with nobody at 100% when it comes to Brock Purdy and Mac Jones. So Kendrick Bourne, I'd temper my expectations, and Juwan Jennings, you might want to flex him out if you have to. And George Kittle's back, so you could look to George Kittle. But I think Christian McCaffrey, no matter what in this game. What does a backup quarterback do? Typically look to his tight end and his running back. So that would be George Kittle and Christian McCaffrey. On the other side, I don't mind Jackson Dart in this game. I think San Francisco's defense might show up, so I'm going to call Dart a low-end quarterback 1, but I don't mind him in this. Cam Scatterbo is on the injury report after working to become your starting running back, which I think he's done a great job at, but with him getting injured and being out, it sucks for those of us, me, that had him in fantasy, and more than anything, it stinks for him, and hopefully he'll be back better than ever very soon. God bless you to Cam Scatterbo. and he's on IR right now with that ankle injury. So Devin Singletary and Tyrone Tracy Jr. If I had to pick, I would say Wendell Robinson's your best bet to play. Maybe a little bit of Theo Johnson with Daniel Bellinger on the injury report, God willing. He'll be okay with a neck injury, so hopefully he'll be back soon, hopefully this week. But I'm going to say Wendell Robinson, Theo Johnson, sneaky Bo Collins, and Tyrone Tracy. I'm okay with you looking to Jackson Dart, but I'm hoping that you don't have to lean on Jackson Dart to be your end-all, be-all, just because San Fran's defense has got some good stuff. This may be a low-scoring game for both teams, maybe going under 20. The Colts at the Steelers. Aaron Rodgers did not get the bingo card of Green Bay and having all 32 NFL franchises on the losing side of him. And now he was hosting Green Bay. Now he's hosting the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are really good. Pittsburgh's not that bad. Pittsburgh's in the playoff hunt. I said going into the season they'd make the playoffs as Aaron Rodgers would look more like himself. Well, the Colts are 7-1, and the Steelers, they might be 4-4 after this. They're 4-3. I don't mind Daniel Jones coming to town in this game. So I'm happy Riley Leonard, my friend, came out for this. God bless to him. Been a friend for many, many years. So shout out to the former Duke and Notre Dame quarterback who made it to the College Football Playoff National Championship in the first year of the 12 team, and got to see him and give him a hug and talk to him. So shout out to Riley. That's my guy. Daniel Jones also interviewed and talked to him, so happy to see his success. I like Jonathan Taylor in this game. I'm going to look at the Colts most recently because their receiving core has been a little bit all over the place. I think Michael Pittman owners are happy, though, because Daniel Jones has given Michael Pittman more play. The Colts have won 4 in a row, and like I said, they're 7-1. They've only lost to the Rams 27-20 on the road. They beat the Titans by more than 3 touchdowns, 38-14. And in this game, 21 of 29 for Daniel Jones, 272 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Jonathan Taylor, he's had incredible games. He's just been great. 12 carries, 153 yards, 12.8 yards a carry against a horrible Titans team and he also had 2 touchdowns. Michael Pittman, speaking of him, 9 targets, 8 catches, 95 yards, and a touchdown. Alec Pierce, 2 catches, 5 targets, 69 yards. Tyler Warren, 4 catches, 5 targets, 53. Josh Downs scored 3 targets, 3 catches. And Jonathan Taylor, 2 targets, 2 catches out of the backfield, 1 for a touchdown. So, Adonai Mitchell wasn't really utilized. 1 target, didn't catch it. So, I would say on the road here, I like Michael Pittman Jr., I like Tyler Warren, I like Jonathan Taylor. Daniel Jones, I'm going to probably... they've been playing really well. So, I'm going to call him a mid-range to low-range QB1. Probably low-range. And if you want to flex out Josh Downs or Alec Pierce, I'm okay with that. On the other side, for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Aaron Rodgers and the crew, they've lost 2 in a row after winning 3 of 4 and 3 in a row, losing to the Packers 35-25. Let's see here. Rodgers was 24-36, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 219. Warren had 13 for 62, 4.8 yards a carry. Roman Wilson, 5 targets, 4 catches, 74 yards, a touchdown. He's come on here. DK Metcalf, 7 targets, 5 catches, and a touchdown. Calvin Austin, 6 targets, 4 catches, 28. Freiermuth caught 3 of the 4 thrown his way. Jalen Warren caught 2 of 3 out of the backfield. In this game against the Colts, when you look at the Colts this season and how well they've been playing, they've allowed 8 points, 28, 20, 27, 6, 27, 24, and 14. So, I would think a couple touchdowns. So, I like DK Metcalf in the game. I like Roman Wilson. Maybe you could get him on waiver or in free agency as a guy to flex out. And then I don't know if I'd play either tight end. So I would say DK Metcalf, Roman Wilson as a flex, maybe Jalen Warren I'd feel comfortable with. So with that being said, before we go to our next game, which is going to be the Chargers at the Titans, I think the Titans are in for a buzzsaw here. This is a game where you're like, oh, they'll easily win, so maybe it's going to be closer. There's always those games every year that you're like, oh, that's a cakewalk, and then that ends up being a difficult game. So we'll talk about that coming up after this fast break on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. Make sure you stay tuned inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. We'll be back right after this.
This is Jim Dispenza, owner of Game Point Sports Complex. You hear the same story across any sport that kids play and any sport that adults play. There's never enough places to play. That was definitely true with volleyball, definitely true with basketball. Could be cheerleading, it could be field hockey, which is what we're seeing now. Every sport has a lack of places to play, and I think Syracuse in particular is a place where it's really bad, despite the fact that we've got a lot of athletic talent around here. We just seem to have not enough places for people to play, and they're going to different places. They're going to Rochester, they're going to, Buffalo. They're going all different places because we don't have a place here, and I felt like that should change. This was a long project from planning all the way through execution to opening doors. A lot of work went into it, obviously, a lot of money, a lot of resources, and the dream always was kids being in the gym, having a good time. And I've always felt like sports is the most unfiltered joy that you can observe with people that people can experience, because it is fun, it is a sense of accomplishment, it's all of that wrapped into one thing. And so watching kids going up and down the court with big smiles on their faces has been just amazing experience. I'm looking forward to years to come of that same thing. We've taken the time to invest in multiple sports, and then what we're finding is the mere fact that we have a large, clean, well-lit space has opened a lot more doors for us beyond basketball, volleyball, pickleball. Now we're having some interest from cheerleading. We've got girls field hockey coming in. And then also there's quite a bit of room for spectators. We've got bleachers, we've got benches, we've got a concession lounge where people can get food and drinks. We're going to have multiple sports going at the same time, using every square inch of this place for what it was conceived for, which is basically people to come in, have a good time in the sport that they prefer. We manage each situation differently. Everybody has different ability to afford different things. Some are bringing 10, 15 people, some are just 2 people. I've had a lot of situations where it's a father shooting around with his son, it's a mother playing pickleball with her daughter or with her son, and in those situations come up and we work with people, and that's allowed us to have groups from 2 people up to 30 people and have some flexible pricing behind it. We're an organization that is here to work with the community any way we can, and that's part of it is just making sure that we have the flexibility to put together a plan that makes sense regardless of the size of your group. So in order to book time, the best option is to go to our website, gamepointsports-syr.com. You can click from there and sign up for events, sign up for your own particular training, sign up for birthday parties, all of that.
This is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you.
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily, and we bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City studios. Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Make your way over there Monday through Saturday for sales and service. And, of course, you can get a sneak peek of all of their inventory of what your next ride's going to be by going to GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Thanks to Elijah, Malik, Mark, and the entire team at Great Lakes Honda City for all that you do and have done for me for over a decade. Not only have we been partnered for over a decade, but that's the only place I've gotten my vehicles for over a decade because we put our money where our mouth is here on Wake Up Call, and we live by, if I'm going to tell you to go somewhere, well, then I better be going there too. And I have been. And I appreciate you, Great Lakes Honda City. God bless to y'all. Much love. We're inside of the Fantasy Football Power Hour, NFL Week 9 of the 2025-26 season, proudly presented by the Wildcat Sports Pub, 3680 Milton Avenue in Camillus, New York. So make sure that you head out to the Wildcat, watch the games, and, of course, just enjoy their amazing food and ambiance. And, of course, we're there throughout the year with GG Cards and Breaks trade nights, as well as being out there on site on location with our West Genesee broadcast. So we look forward to seeing you out there for our next show with the Wildcats at the Wildcat of West Genesee. So with that being said, let's go into our Chargers matchup at Tennessee. And Chargers at Tennessee, we'll start with the road team. This is one of those games where I'm like, yep. When it comes to the Chargers, Justin Herbert, yep. And Kamani Vidal, well, he's the only healthy running back on the report right now. Hassan Haskins is questionable with a hamstring. Amarian Hampton is on injured reserve until week 13 with an ankle injury, and Najee Harris is on injured reserve with an Achilles injury. So God bless to them all. They're playing Tennessee, so I like Kamani Vidal in this game. I like Ladd McConkey. I like Keenan Allen. I like Quentin Johnston. I'd probably flex out Keenan Allen or Quentin Johnston. Ladd McConkey is a yes. Aronde Gadsden II is a yes. I'm so happy I picked up the former Syracuse player that I've interviewed and spent time with, and because I believe in him. And I'm happy to see that he's been doing great things. Justin Herbert, Kamani Vidal. I would even consider playing the Chargers defense and special teams because, well, they're playing Tennessee. Tennessee is not good this year. As far as Tennessee and who you should put out there for the Titans, the Tennessee Titans, I would look to, in that 38-14 loss on the road at Indianapolis inside of the division, Cam Ward did go 22 of 38, 259, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Tajay Spears, 9 carries, 59 yards, 6.6 yards a carry, and a touchdown. Tony Pollard, 11 carries, 44, 4 yards a carry, so not terrible there. And then Shamir Dyke had 8 targets, 7 catches, 93 yards. Chigoziem Okonkwo, their tight end, 4 catches, 5 targets, 53 yards. Alec Iomanner, 8 targets, 4 catches, 52 yards. Gunnar Helm had a touchdown, 3 targets, 2 catches, one of them for a touchdown. Tony Pollard caught 3 out of the backfield. Tajay caught 1. Gunnar Helm is the tight end out of Texas, drafted this year, round 4, pick 120 from Tennessee. So I'm going to say in this game against the Chargers, if you want to put out Tajay Spears or Tony Pollard as... I would put Tajay as a running back 2. I'd put Pollard as a running back 3. And then Dyke or Iomanner, if you want to flex them out in a deep league, I would maybe look at flexing out Iomanner or Dyke, but, they're playing the Chargers. So maybe a flex isn't bad, but hopefully you have better choices. But I'm not against Dyke or Iomanner going out there. Let's take a look at the Saints at the Rams. We're going to go first with the road team, so I'll go to the Saints. A team that came into the season, and I said, I don't think they're going to have the same quarterback for the entire year. They came in my opinion, with the most open quarterback situation, and it's continued to be open because we've seen it continue to change. The Saints lost. The Bucs finally got back on the winning side of things after not showing up on Monday night. They won by 20 over the Saints in division of the NFC North. Spencer Rattler was replaced by Tyler Shuck. Shuck was 17 of 30, 128, no touchdowns, 1 interception. Spencer, 15 of 21, 136, no touchdowns, 1 interception. So they looked very similar in the game. Who should you play? Alvin Kamara, Rashid Shaheed, Chris Olave, they're getting pub, and so's Juwan Johnson. So, I still like those guys going out there for you. Kamara, I'll call him a low-end 1, high-end 2. Olave, a 1. I'll call Shaheed a 2, and I'll call Juwan Johnson a tight end 1 because he's getting a lot more involved, which I love to see for him. And then as far as who they're going up against, the L.A. Rams. The Rams have done some good things. Matt Stafford set a record for single game touchdowns that were thrown in an international game, and that was against the Jaguars. And now they have the Saints, who I think they're going to beat as well. I like Matty Stafford in this game. I like Kyron Williams in this game. I like Devontae Adams in this game. Puka Nacua is questionable with an ankle injury, so monitor it. But if he's able to go, then I would look at putting out Puka. And then as far as their tight ends, they're all over the place. Davis Allen, Terrence Ferguson, Colby Parkinson, and Tyler Higbee are all getting involved, so it's hard to tell you where to go for that one. I might look to Higbee in a little sleeper week against the Saints, but it is kind of up in the air. Then we're going to go to Jacksonville at the Raiders. So, and that's, of course, an ode to the Boom. I take no credit for it. I just appreciate Chris Berman, got to meet him, talk with him, tell him how much I appreciate him, and had a wonderful conversation from a very kind man who said a lot of nice things to me that left me feeling really appreciated when I was trying to make sure that he was feeling appreciated. Well, the Jaguars are coming off of a bye week, and probably a good timing for it because they've had some good wins, including against the Chiefs, and they've lost their last 2. Seahawks at home 20-12, and then they lost in London to the Rams in that game where Matt Stafford set the record 35-7, where he threw 5 touchdowns. Now they'll be at the Raiders. And if we go back to that game against the Rams, an atrocious game, where they had more penalties, the Jaguars did, than points, 13 penalties to 7 points. Well, in that game, Lawrence, 23 of 48, so 23 completions, 25 incompletions, not good. 1 touchdown, no interceptions, 296 yards. ETN, 8 carries for 44. Bajal, 2, and love the name, 5 carries, 22 yards, 4.4 yards a carry. Travis Hunter had over 100 yards in the only touchdown, 14 targets, 8 receptions. Parker Washington, he's come up here. Happy I got 3 of his autograph cards. 10 targets, 4 catches, 52 yards. And Brian Thomas has been underwhelming, 7 targets, 3 catches, 31 yards in that game. So for Jacks, if they trade Brian Thomas, they're absolutely insanely unintelligent. But they've made a lot of unintelligent moves, so we'll see. Brian Johnson's on the injury report, though he's questionable with a shoulder injury. God willing, he'll be okay. I like Travis Hunter because he's Mr. Two-Way, and if you have individual defensive players and not just a total defense and special teams, I would play Travis Hunter because he does everything. So I do like Travis Hunter in this game, and I would say Travis Etienne. They're playing the Raiders. The Raiders haven't been that great. So Parker Washington would be a wide receiver 4. I like Travis Hunter as a flex for you as well. And I do like Travis Etienne. On the side of the Raiders, well, if Ashton Genty's going to have a welcome to the NFL moment, it would be against a team that's totally, almost completely spun out of control. If they lose this game, then I think that they have definitely lost it. But you got a team that beat the Chiefs and the Jaguars and a team that was just shut out by the Chiefs 31-0 in the Raiders. So in that game, Ashton Genty, 6 carries, 21 yards, 3.5 yards a carry. Trey Tucker has been getting more involved, which has been good to see. If I was going to look at overall statistics of the Raiders this season and not just that terrible game against the Chiefs, because Jacksonville's defense hasn't been that, well, they started off the season great, and they have since kind of lost their way. They need to be consistent, and hopefully they will be. Trey Tucker's been leading the team. 389 yards, 29 catches on 39 targets, and 4 touchdowns. All of those lead the team, except for targets, which Jacoby Myers had 4 more with 43. So, and then Ashton Genty, 111 carries already, 445 yards, 4 yards a carry, and 3 touchdowns. So fantasy owners definitely want to see that go up. I think it will in this game. I like Ashton Genty in the matchup. Jacoby Myers and Brock Bowers are on the injury report. Jacoby's knee is questionable. Brock's knee PCL is questionable. God willing, they're both okay to go. But I like Trey Tucker in the game. And Michael Mayer, if Brock isn't able to go. If Brock is able to go, I like Brock. But I still kind of circle Michael Mayer because they're playing the Jaguars and they're at home. And I like Ashton Genty to get into the end zone at least once, if not potentially twice in this game. I think he might get in twice. So let's go to Kansas City at Buffalo. Before we take a step aside, I think Buffalo should stop playing these games because they beat Kansas City in the regular season but not in the postseason. Kansas City's had some bad moments, but they look like they're becoming more like themselves in recent history again in the here and now. And the Bills, well, they look like they've kind of lost themselves a little bit. So 2 teams in 2 different places. Buffalo's 5-2 and Kansas City's 5-3. I like Pat Mahomes in the game. Isaiah Pacheco's on the injury report with a knee MCL injury. God willing, he'll be okay. If he's unable to go, I actually like Brashard Smith out of SMU to overtake the carries here because we've seen him recently. I like Rashee Rice. I like Xavier Worthy in the game where the Bills could have picked up Xavier Worthy. They traded to the Chiefs, traded down, and allowed the Chiefs to get a guy faster than Tyreek Hill, which is crazy. So I do like Worthy as a sneaky flex. I like Rashee Rice, Travis Kelce. And then for Buffalo, I like Josh Allen, James Cook coming off of a career day. And then as far as the rest of the team here in the receiving core, taking a look at the receiving core for the Buffalo Bills that has not been consistent at all. So let's, as far as like putting points up. But they did get on the winning side of things beating Carolina. Let's take a look at how they did in that one and how the ball was spread out. Shakir, 7 targets, 6 catches, 88 yards, touchdown. Keon Coleman, 4 targets, 3 catches, 30 yards. Dalton Kincaid, 3 targets, 1 catch. Dawson Knox, 1 target, 1 catch. So, and that's against the Carolina team that's kind of been all over the place. So I like James Cook and Josh Allen. I do like Dalton Kincaid in this game. I'm going to temper my expectation a little bit to a mid-range tight end 1. And then as far as Shakir or Coleman, I would only feel good about you putting them in your flex position as your wide receiver 3 or 4. Hopefully you got 2 guys above them that have been a little more consistent. With that being said, we're going to take a step aside, our final step aside on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. This is the Fantasy Football Power Hour, proudly presented by the Wildcat Sports Pub, NFL Week 9 of the 2025-26 season. We'll be back with Sunday night, Monday night football. I'm going to circle the Seahawks at the Commanders, and we will wrap things up after you hear from our awesome partners in Central and Upstate New York right now.
Avicoli's restaurant, located on 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool, New York, has been serving our community for decades. Your place to go for home cooking on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road is just minutes from Liverpool High School. And every single month, Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is on site, on location, with Liverpool sports, student athletes, coaches, and administration telling their stories throughout the year. We look forward to seeing you on site at Avicoli's for their casual pizza side, their fine dining, as well as their bar. And of course, you can order online at myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. For takeout delivery and catering, call 315-622-5100. That's 315-622-5100. Come on into the neighborhood spot Avicoli's, open 7 days a week in Liverpool, New York. K9 Campground Dog Boarding is your home away from home for your furry-loving friends. Open 7 days a week with drop-off and pickup times in the morning and later on in the day and early evening. K9 Campground Dog Boarding is the spot to trust with your dog for short and long-term stays. Call 315-299-4013 for more information. That's 315-299-4013, and go to k9campground.com as well. That's K9, ground.com, where you will find all of the information on their different cabins, which include the classic cabin, executive cabin, grand cabin, and luxury cabin. K9 Campground Dog Boarding, where your dog will have indoor and outdoor areas as well as their own private cabin for any size, any breed, as well as dogs with different needs. Dog parents and dogs alike choose K9 Campground Dog Boarding. Isn't that right, Lily? Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks, coming to you on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York, is your one-stop sports card and trading card shop. You will find them open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 6, Sundays from 10 to 5, and there's nothing like GG Cards and Breaks. Hopefully you saw my birthday box break with 3 boxes in celebration of my 40th birthday with owner Josh Gideon. If you haven't, go and watch it because it truly embodies the fun, the community, the excitement, and just the overall environment of GG Cards and Breaks. I love being there. I love what they've done. If you've never been there, you're going to walk in and see an awesome card shop. If you have been there, you're going to see a place that you thought was great has evolved to something even greater at GG Cards and Breaks. Go and see them, 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, right off of Teal Ave, Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 6, and on Sundays from 10 to 5. A big time thanks to Chick-fil-A in DeWitt on the corner of Bridge Street and Erie Boulevard. Chick-fil-A DeWitt making it happen with all of their amazing staff members and having that team there at Chick-fil-A in DeWitt. Megan Sorber talked to me about how she went to school and worked at Chick-fil-A, and now she's employing people that are going to school in the Central New York community and working at Chick-fil-A. So who better to bring you through your journey than somebody who understands that journey all too well? Shout out to Megan and her team at Chick-fil-A in DeWitt that right now have so many wonderful things to offer you on the menu, including the limited time only Pretzel Cheddar Club in original, spicy, and grilled. We'll see you on the corner of Bridge and Erie today. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, thank you for being with us inside of the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York, open for sales and service. You can head out there today to enjoy their wonderful lot of cars to buy and lease. They have new and used vehicles at Great Lakes Honda City, and let them know that DT sent you. You can get a sneak peek by going to greatlakeshondacity.com. We're inside of the Fantasy Football Power Hour, not one of, not a, but the Fantasy Football Power Hour, proudly presented by the Wildcat Sports Pub, 3680 Milton Avenue in Camillus, New York, and we've made it to Sunday and Monday Night Football. Sunday night, we'll go there first in order, and we have Seattle, the road team, at Washington. Seattle most recently has won 2 games at the Jaguars and home against the Texans, and they did that on Monday Night Football when the Texans didn't look that good, losing 27-19, and then the Texans went home to Houston and beat San Francisco. So again, there are those teams in the NFL that are just very hard to gauge as of right now. Now, Cooper Kupp threw an interception in this game on his only pass. Sam Darnold went 17-31 in that Seattle win over Houston, their last game that they've played. Sam Darnold, 17-31, 213, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Kenneth Walker, 17 carries, 66 yards, 3.9 a carry. Charbonnet got more involved, 12 carries, 2 touchdowns on those 12 carries, 49 yards total, 4.1 yards a carry. Jackson Smith and Jigba, people missed him last week when he was on a bye week. 14 targets, 8 catches, 123 yards, 1 touchdown. When DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett were still on Seattle, he was at best the number 3 guy. And you were wondering, okay, they brought him in, but why aren't they utilizing him more? When is he going to be the guy? When is he going to get the opportunity? And now he's the outright one, and some may argue he's the best wide receiver in the NFL right now. So Jackson Smith and Jigba doing his thing, and really that's the guy that I would lean on. So when it comes to Seattle, I look at Kenneth Walker III. In this matchup with Washington, I like Kenneth Walker III in this game, Zach Charbonnet as well, Jackson Smith and Jigba. I would look to all of them. I'm going to say Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker are kind of both running back 2s right now, as Charbonnet's gotten more involved, but in Jigba's a wide receiver 1 in every stretch of the imagination. Jaden Daniels still on the injury report, questionable with a hammy. I don't like it. Terry McLaurin, questionable with his quad injury, has been bugging him for many, many weeks now, and this just really stinks because preseason-wise, I thought that Washington had a chance of making the Super Bowl. Now I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs, and you can't knock my preseason prediction because it was based on everybody being healthy. So, And it was like a preseason. It was my early months before the preseason prediction of Washington versus Buffalo. But that was based on Washington being healthy, which they haven't been. Your best bets McLaurin did play in the last game, 4 targets, 3 catches, and a touchdown. Jeremy McNichols has gotten involved. And Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, he's okay. Not great. Mariota threw 2 interceptions. So depending on who plays in this game for Seattle or against Seattle, I don't really like any of it. But, feet to the fire. I can tell you Zach Ertz, if you need a tight end, he's been Old Faithful over the years. Deebo Samuel, you might want to flex out. But, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, I'm going to call him a running back 3 this week. And then we'll see if Terry and Jaden can go. It just stinks because a healthy Washington team, I'm telling you a lot more fantasy stuff and probably picking them to win this game if they were healthy. Monday Night Football's got an NFC East matchup that used to exist. Some of you have forgotten this, but back when we had 5 teams in a division, the Arizona Cardinals were in the NFC East, believe it or not. It was Dallas, Philly, Washington, the Giants, and Arizona. Then Arizona went into what is now the NFC West and left the NFC East, which made no sense of them being in it. So the Arizona Cardinals used to be the punching bag of the NFC East, and now they get to play that former NFC East foe. Keep in mind what I've told you. Dallas scores 40 or more points when they're at home this year. When they're on the road, they're not as good, and they're not as offensively sound. But at home they are. And they're playing a bad Arizona team. Kyler Murray's on the injury report. God willing, he's okay and able to play. He's questionable with a foot injury, so we could see Jacoby Brissett out there for this team. So if we look at Arizona first, the Arizona Cardinals at this point, as we take a look at them, they are 2-5. They've lost 5 in a row after winning their against a bad team and the Saints on the road and 500 team with Carolina. So we look at Arizona losing to Green Bay at home in the last game that they played. Jacoby Brissett, 25 of 36, 279, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Bam Knight, 14 for 57, 4.1 yards a carry. Trey McBride's been good. 10 catches, 13 targets, 74 yards, 2 touchdowns. Zay Jones, 2 catches on 2 targets. Marvin Harrison, 2 catches on 6 targets. Zay had 67. He's been coming up. Love Zay. Got to interview him and love his faith in God and his kindness as a human being. Marvin Harrison had 58 yards. So who do I play in this game? Marvin Harrison Jr., if you're going to do anything, flex him out at this point. I like Trey McBride. I like Zay Jones as a flex 3. I like Marvin Harrison Jr. as a flex 3. And then for the Cowboys, we're playing at home, so we know that the Dak attack is really good at home. That's a good thing. So what do I think you should do when it comes to them playing Arizona? I don't think this is a bad time to play Dak. Javonte Williams, CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, and Jake Ferguson should all be out there for you with the Cowboys because they're at home and they're playing Arizona. So those are 2 good things working in their favor. With that being said, this has been the entire Week 9 of the 2025-26 NFL season, giving you my advice across the country and the world. Keep in mind that the Browns, the Jets, the Eagles, and the Bucks are off, so do not play any of these for Week 9 unless you want to lose a spot. This has been the Fantasy Football Power Hour, proudly presented by the Wildcat. Watch all the games and more 7 days a week at the Wildcat, 3680 Milton Avenue in Camillus, New York. Go and see them today. Let them know that DT sent you. And, of course, you can also order takeout and delivery from the Wildcat by calling 315-487-2222. That's 315-487-2222. Have it on speed dial for game day. We thank you for tuning in up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, and on WakeUpCallDT.com. Podbean.com, Monday through Friday and beyond, 9 to 11 and beyond Eastern Time. We appreciate you being here. Of course, once we go live, we hop into the archives. You can already get some stuff in there that I put up. Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, Clear FM, Podbean, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube. And, of course, Podchaser. You can find it all, podchaser.com, pardon me. Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube. You could find it all by searching Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on any one of these outlets, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. Of course, many thanks to our team of partners that we have here. Nothing but love for what they've done, and much respect for Great Lakes Honda City, Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, GG Cards and Brakes, Myers Creek. We will be at Myers Creek this Thursday, October 30th, in Casanova's location, on 33 Rippleton Road in Cas, at 7 p.m. with Brittany Brigandy, celebrating her being in not one, not two, not three, but 4 Hall of Fames. Most recently, the Greater Syracuse Hall of Fame. So we'll be celebrating that with Brittany Brigandy. And then on Friday, October 31st, we'll be at Myers Creek at Syracuse Inner Harbor. So back-to-back broadcasts live at Myers Creek, covering both locations. So we will see you Thursday in Cas. We'll see you Friday for Wake Up Call Game Day. Isaac Alford and myself getting you ready 3 hours before kickoff for Syracuse, North Carolina, this Friday, October 31st, 4:30 p.m. at the Inner Harbor at Myers Creek. Many thanks to Chick-fil-A Cicero, Pizza Man, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Game Point Sports Complex, Chick-fil-A DeWitt, Mother's Cupboard, Ma and Pa's, the snack capital of the world, Canine Campground Dog Boarding, Brian's Landing, Avicoli's, and we are the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of yours. Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse. You just got a Bobcat Buzz exclusive yesterday, and it's already up on audio and video on our outlets with David Pittman, the new head coach, in his exclusive first interview since becoming the head coach of the Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats women's soccer team. They will find out a week from today if they're playing for a national championship. So stay close. Bobcat coverage is on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell. Find over 100 videos with the Bobcats exclusively on Wake Up Call in the BSC playlist, BSC Syracuse playlist on YouTube. You can also find the Bobcats on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to syracuse.bscbobcats.com and go Bobcats. The Binghamton University Bearcats are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Find your Bearcats every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, including this week where we got to feature 2 gentlemen going to play in doubles at the ITA Masters in San Diego, California in early November for Binghamton men's tennis, shouting out once again Ronan Lotzlicker as well as William Morias Binney. And you can find all of our content with Binghamton by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, find the Binghamton playlist. You'll also find your Bearcats on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to binghamtonbearcats.com and go Bearcats. The OCC Lasers are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Onondaga Community College, here with us every other Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. So you'll find them every other Wednesday. They were there with me today as we got to feature the wonderful men's cross country head coach, and that being Greg Keeler, celebrating the team winning back-to-back Region 3 championships in the NJCAA, which has sent them to nationals, which will be out in Iowa coming up very soon here in early November. And, of course, many thanks to NJCAA Region 3 celebrating Greg Keeler as their back-to-back Coach of the Year. So that's special, and every special we do with OCC is on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find the OCC playlist. The next time that you will find OCC on the broadcast will be on Wednesday, November 12th at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. And, of course, you could find the Lasers also on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage, and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to onadoggalasers.com and go Lasers. With that being said, I want to thank Greg Keeler for being a part of the show. Of course, we'll see you for Wake Up Call game day for Syracuse football this Friday at Myers Creek. We'll see you Thursday with Brittany Brigandy at Myers Creek out in Cazenovia. So head out there to Kaz and come enjoy some country scenery and a great fall foliage time as we celebrate a hometown spotlight, incredible athlete, and just very excited to have Brittany Brigandy sitting with me in Kaz at Myers Creek. Look forward to seeing you out there. Have a great day. Facebook at WakeUpCallDT, X at CallDT, Instagram at WakeUpCall_DT. For now, from the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, I say, with my mustache, God bless, no stress, do your best. We'll talk soon. Stay safe.